This is David Russell, Global Head of Market Strategy for TradeStation. And today we'll look at major events for investors and traders. Stocks could be hesitating before a key Federal Reserve announcement on Wednesday. The S&P 500 dipped slightly between Friday, March 8th and Friday, March 15th. The index has lost value for 2 consecutive weeks. That hadn't happened since the current rally began in November. Signs of persistent inflation weighed on sentiment. The Consumer Price Index and Producer Price Index for February both rose more than expected. Energy drove much of the increase, but other categories like airfares and insurance kept going up. At the same time, crude oil jumped to a 4-month high, and copper hit an 11-month high. Initial jobless claims were also below forecasts, reflecting a potentially strong job market. Borrowing costs jumped in response, with Treasury yields erasing declines over the previous 3 weeks. Another report from the Commerce Department showed disappointing growth in retail sales. Bank of America strategist Michael Hartnett said the Goldilocks period that began in November could be ending. Goldilocks, by the way, means inflation isn't too hot and growth isn't too slow. He cautioned it could be replaced by stagflation, which means higher inflation and slower economic growth. Energy was the top-performing sector last week, climbing almost 4%. It rallied as investors increased bullish positions on crude oil futures and as inventories tightened. Energy got a further boost after Ukraine attacked Russian refineries, reducing global supplies of gasoline and diesel. Energy is now the leading sector on a year-to-date basis, according to TradeStation data. Materials rose almost 2%. They've gone up for 8 straight weeks. They're their longest winning streak since the stock market rebounded from the global financial crisis in 2009. Solar energy stocks, biotechnology, and banks fell the most last week. Real estate, semiconductors, and small caps also lagged the broader market. Copper producer Freeport-McMoRan was the biggest gainer in the S&P 500. It followed copper prices higher after Chinese smelters reduced output. 3 million also climbed after raising its guidance. The industrial conglomerate is the worst-performing member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average over the last 5 and 10 years, according to TradeStation data. The company just completed a spin-off and has a new chief executive starting in May. Has a turnaround begun? Oracle also rallied after strong quarterly results, suggested it's starting to benefit from AI-related demand. Electronics manufacturing company Jabil fell the most after revenue missed estimates. Southwest Airlines dropped after management cut guidance because of delays with Boeing aircraft. Dollar Tree also slid on weak results and guidance. And now let's chart the market. While the S&P 500 has trended smoothly higher since late October, some chart watchers may see evidence it's due for a pause. First, the week of March 4th through March 8th featured a higher high and higher low than the preceding week. The kind of outside week reflects an inability to claim new highs. It was followed by an inside week, as prices stayed within the previous range. The tightening may also reflect a slowing of the uptrend and potential reversal. Next, Wilder's Relative Strength Index, or RSI, has slid this month, as the broader index plods to new highs. Such bearish divergence may reflect weakening of the uptrend. Traders could watch for potential support at the 21-day exponential moving average, where the index bounced in January and late February. At least to other charts could be important. The 10-year U.S. Treasury yield is climbing back toward 4.32%, an important level since 2008. Returning above that point could potentially suggest the bond market expects higher rates. Second, CBO's Volatility Index, or VIX, has refused to make new lows since December. That may reflect lingering fears. We'll now look at the agenda this week, which is dominated by the Federal Reserve. Still, there are some other events. AI could be in the news with NVIDIA's GTC Developer Conference, starting today. Homebuilder sentiment is also due. Housing starts and building permits follow tomorrow morning. The big event is at 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Wednesday afternoon. That's when the Fed issues monetary policy and its outlook for future rates, also known as the dot plot. Chair Jerome Powell will speak about 30 minutes later. Crude oil inventories come earlier in the session, and Micron Technology reports earnings after the closing bell. Thursday features initial jobless claims and results from Nike and Lululemon. Nothing important is scheduled for Friday. Thanks for watching. Please visit tradestation.com for more.